Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Maze and I'm here for you with an Awakening Drakania State of Class video. Now most of you know me as a Succession Drakania main. That's where I've spent most of my time and where most of my guides and PvP experience come from. But if you'd followed me for a while, you also know I genuinely love Awakening Drakania. Class fantasy, the movement, the flow. When it works, it's really amazing and one of the best experiences of the go. With all the recent balance changes and hopes surrounding Awakening Drak, I felt like this wasn't a video I should make completely alone. So instead of just giving you my outsider perspective as a Succession main who also plays Awakening, I thought it'd be way more valuable to bring on actual, loyal Awakening Drakania mains. People who live and breathe the spec every day. We'll talk about what feels good, what still feels bad, what's improved, what hasn't, where we think the class is heading. This isn't going to be some doom post or blind praise video. It's just going to be an honest discussion from people who genuinely care about Drakania in all her forms. So this video is more of a free-form podcast style discussion where we talk about the current state of Awakening Drakania, the overall state of Black Desert Online, PvP, class identity, things like vanguard and skirmisher, groups and playstyles, and where we think the game and the class is heading overall. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, I am Brightflame. I'm an Awakening Drakania main for all content, predominantly PvP focused player. I started playing Drakania just before the nerfs 2 years ago. I'm self-taught. At that time there was no guides and pretty much every player of the class sort of rolled off. So everything I learned was through just determination and playing the game, experimenting with a little bit of insight from older Drakania mains like Challenger ADC. And I'm also the individual who suggested a lot of the changes that were recently implemented on the feedback that I submitted to the forums. I hope that sort of clarifies it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks a lot. And then we also have Haze. We also have Haze. Ah, man, I can't talk tonight. But yeah, we got Haze. And Haze, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm actually a long-time Drak main, which previously I was a lot more PvE focused guy, so I wouldn't PvP that much. But then I started PvPing around the time Drak was like the most dominant class in the actual PvP environment. And I start slowly digging into what she could do, what she could not do, which spoiler at the time, she could do anything and she was really good at it. Since the nerfs, she struggled, she really had like protection problems, she couldn't dish out damage, lots of things that made me like, okay, I need to learn the class, need to adapt, I need to make the class work. And from there I've been studying the class in and out, how to make the class works, and how experimenting essentially what the class can do with so few tools. And then we got buffed. And right here I'm like relearning again the class. So I'm like, probably I'll define myself the middle ground between mates who's right now starting to learn Drak, and Bright, who's, in my opinion, an actual expert on the class.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, and the reason, guys, that I wanted these two guys on is because, again, as you know, I'm a Suck Drak main. I've been playing Suck Drak for like 2.5 years straight in all content. But Awakening Drak always caught my attention as a second option that I could quickly switch to, because honestly, like, the main thing about Drak that I like is the character itself. more than anything. I love the character. I love the class fantasy. So being able to switch to this fast assassin has always been like super interesting to me. And just like Haze, I started looking into it, and then I discovered that it was actually OP in PvP. I had no idea because I was just playing Succession. And so I thought, okay, well, might as well play something that's OP while I'm learning the game. And then, like, I had maybe 2 months under my belt doing a lot of 1v1s in BA, some AOS, and then they just destroyed the class. One patch after another. It was ridiculous. They kind of like stripped away the healing. We were like, okay, that's fine. And then they stripped away this and that. And they just killed the class on the last patch where they just took away the cores, made him frontal guard. And it was heartbroken because I was enjoying it. I was enjoying this dual spec thing that I had going, and I was getting good at Awakening Drak. And then I didn't touch it since then. But these two, they have been playing it throughout. So they are the actual Awakening Drak mains, and they'll have more valuable takes on the spec than I do, because hey, you know, they're the real ones, and that's why I wanted to ask you guys now at this point, and we'll start with you, Bright. Is like, we got some really good changes, but before that we had some annoying changes that were feeling incomplete and not so good in the beginning. But finally we got this last patch and things feel good. What do you think about the latest changes? What's your take, and what do you think Awakening Drak now is?
Okay, let me start off by addressing the prior to the recent buffs. Awakening Drak had a significant change to its abilities. It lost Azure Onslaught as a pre-awakening skill, which was our main sort of CC that was a stiff, which allowed for extension combos. It basically was it set you up to do multiple different things and basically freestyle and express a lot of different combinations. The loss of the knockdown on Dragon Blood tip of the scale really hurt the class in a really bad way. That's sort of what inspired me to write the feedback that I referenced earlier, which did end up having a lot of the changes that I suggested implemented into the current kit, which is the buffs that happened this week. So I will say that for about a month and a half there, the class was probably in the worst shape it has been for the past 2 years. It was just, it had no identity, it had no ability to sort of excel in any role, and it was unplayable in most content. For the longest time, Awakening Drak was predominantly a 1v1 isolated fight character that could be utilized at high-end gameplay in sort of like Arena of Solaire or even Guild League. But that sort of was stripped away from it when it lost those two tools in the kit. With the more recent kit, what I will say is that the class is currently in a good spot. It's in a great spot if you are previously an experienced Drak main who has played the class all this time. I think that the class currently, if you main the class and you have experience in the class and you are a seasoned Drakania player, it is a high B tier class with potential to be low A tier. But again, I have to stress, guys, that this is if you main the class and you know the class very intricately. I would say that anyone who wants to roll the class or newer players will struggle to capitalize on the returns from the class as opposed to other classes. And that is simply because the class is an extremely freestyle class, and it takes a lot of time and effort to get the rewards out of playing Awakening Drakania, if that makes sense. The changes are a positive step in the right direction. I think the original plan of implementing forward guard and unprotected gaps to create a more skill-based PvP environment was scrapped.
Yeah.
These changes were originally planned 2 years ago when the Drakania nerfs actually happened. But I think they implemented those changes for Drakania specifically, and then they backtracked on that and just started implementing a more, for lack of a better terminology, noob-friendly PvP environment, which was just excessive super armors. And unfortunately, Drakania's took 2 years to be put in line with these other classes that have received these other changes. So the changes overall finally make this class playable, but it's not overly strong, but it's not as weak as it traditionally has been for the past 2 years.
Yeah, I put up the changes, by the way, on screen just so people can see while we watch the video. This segment will be on YouTube too, guys, in case you want to rewatch it. I'm going to cut it, edit it, and put it on YouTube. And then we can share the link to whatever Discords and everybody can see it. Because we're getting a lot of questions, especially, the actual drak mains, Awakening drak mains like Brightflame and, Haze are probably getting a lot of questions, but we just want to point people to the video so they can get their answers. And the changes are here on the screen. I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but TLDR is, it's more protected. We have more frontal guards and more super armors. It's a net positive patch, by the way, which surprises me, because when it comes to drak, it's always about like, okay, we're giving you X, but we're taking away Y. Kind of thing, but that didn't happen in this patch. Even Succession got something nice out of it, even though it's tiny. So it's a very nice W patch. Blue skills got buffed. Again, Bright Flame's feedback post was definitely read and taken into account, and we all supported him, by the way. Now we're doing a Succession one, guys, so go support that too, please. We want to support each other as the drak community because we're one of the lowest number classes in the game right now. Like, both draks are down bad. And there's a reason for that. So we need to keep giving feedback. We need to keep supporting people like Brightflame, Haze, and then I've posted feedback, some more feedbacks on there now. We got to help these out. So that these patches become reality, because they are listening to us. It's not like 2 years ago. I think management changed, right? I don't know if you agree, but the thing you just said about them changing direction about the game, I think that happened right around the time when like Jay stepped off the stage and the Wansu team took over, and they're making everybody very protected, etc., etc. But also they've started to listen to player feedback. What do you guys think about that?
I'll let Haze answer first since he hasn't had an opportunity to speak, and then I'll give my input.
I mean, the overall thing that comes to mind when you see like the recent changes or the classes that has been released, like look at those look at Third Eye, look at Seraph. I was calling her Savior, sorry. You look at them and you see like very protected classes with very few holes to pick in it. Like there are very few frontals. Just look at Wukongs, for example. I just like in the last days counted how many essays the Wukong has, and the Awakening kit, let's call it like that, as like full essay kit. It doesn't have a single skill that is like an FG. Of course, the main kit has it. Of course, it does, but it does not have like skill that are unprotected, or like maybe we like before the patch we had with concealed like we have with actual crackling flame. They do not have things like that. So the overall things that comes to mind, it's okay. They're making the game more casual friendly.
Yeah.
In an environment that it's not casual at all, because this kind of PvP, it's the last thing you think of when casual is the word around, you know. This PvP is not casual. This PvP was, at least in the past, a lot skill based. You had to know when to CC, when you could do damage, when you could do things. Right now it's just SA spam, SA spam, SA spam, or in some other cases iframe spam.
Yeah.
Which leaves little to no room to skill expression. Like I'm sounding biased right now, but Awakening Drak has a lot of skill expression. Like Bright said before, she's a lot of oversiler, so she likes to go on wild on her skills. That thing is just gone for other classes, of course. And that's what I think is happening. So they are lowering the skill ceiling, the skill floor level. But in some other cases, the skill ceiling is getting higher. So you have to be a really, really good player to play against those classes.
True.
Or otherwise you get no reward.
Yeah, true.
I think that's a pretty fair comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna quickly interject and say, like, some of the changes that I did suggest weren't implemented, and that was for skills like Crackle and Flame, to have a forward guard, to just give some form of protection. Obviously, it's not the end of the world. The changes have been very, very positive. Additionally to the class. However, there are, like Haze said, a lot of classes in the game that are currently very just kind of face roll, for lack of a better terminology.
Yeah.
With permanent essays, no punish. I don't want to speak badly about other classes and offend people. Obviously, people enjoy which class they like. However, there are classes like Striker in the game that for some reason have full super armor movement, full super armor protected damage skills, 2 grabs, and I'm not sure why this class has been allowed to sort of dominate in every key area that it has been for so long, especially being classified in sort of as a vanguard class, which is a new sort of thing that they introduced and categorized different classes. If I could just quickly sort of run through what Drakania is as a role dictated by Pearl Abyss, and sort of what her stats are, that would be great if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, okay, thank you very much. So Awakening Drakania is classified as a skirmisher, and what a skirmisher is a skirmisher is a class that deals 5% more damage to vanguard classes. I don't know whether skirmisher is the correct role to give Awakening Drakania. In their metrics, it certainly would be. However, it doesn't play like a traditional skirmisher. A traditional skirmisher, in my mind, would be like a Mewa or a Musa. Awakening Drak feels more like an assassin, which currently has no classification in the game. There is no such thing as an assassin, despite Pearl Abyss referencing very recently on the Global Labs patch that Awakening Mewa is an assassin, quote unquote. The skirmishers basically are meant to be classes that can enter small fights and stay around for a prolonged period of time, or engage, disengage, and re-engage. I don't feel like Drakania really fits that role per se. It's more assassin based, where you're gonna go in, drop your damage, and just leave and pray that you get the kill. Because when your skills are on cooldown, there's not much things you can do to stay in fights. Traditionally, in the past, when Drakania was overpowered or in a great state 2 years ago, she could stay inside of fights and perform very, very well. She had a lot of super armors, which made her able to trade. She had great healing, which allowed her to stay in the fights. That's no longer the case. In terms of referencing the former point of what a skirmisher actually is, it is a class that deals 5% more damage to vanguard classes. So what are the vanguard classes in Black Desert? They are Succession Warrior, Succession Berserker, Succession and Awakening Val, Succession Striker. Awakening Striker is actually classified as a skirmisher, but somehow has 25% DR. Let me just point that out.
Yeah, please.
Awakening Mystic, Shy, Suck and Awakening Guardian, Suck Nova, Suck Corsair, Suck Drak, and Scholar. And that is your list of Vanguard classes.
Yep.
That's pretty much where I'd like to leave that reference point, and I'll talk more about what Drakania can and cannot do with its kit later on in this discussion. But that's all I want to input at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that sounds good. Honestly, yeah, the Vanguard, the Skirmisher, the Pulverizer groups have been some discussion. We did another podcast the other day, and we talked about Vanguard classes specifically, and I was there to talk about Drak, obviously. And I'm not gonna get deeply into Drak right now because that's not the topic, but these definitions are all over the place. Like you said, Awakening Striker has 25% SADR for some reason. Let's say that again. Let's say that every opportunity we get. We don't know why that is. And then Drak, which is a Vanguard class, has 10%. So yeah, it got healing. It doesn't matter if you're dead. So and Awakening Drak used to have very good healing as well, which was taken away. But now she doesn't have tankiness and she doesn't have the sustain. So from my matches in AOS, what I've seen is I'm no expert by any means, but I've been having fun with her and I've been succeeding with her. I've been getting like Ace MVP quite a few matches now, so I think it's coming back to me. She's super high nuclear damage, but also very squishy. And it felt balanced to me, right? You either kill them or they kill you kind of situation. So, but it's not OP. You can't stay forever in super armor and tank everything like an Awakening Striker can. So I think that kind of ties into what you said about the class being like, you know, high B tier, a low A tier, because it just isn't overpowered anymore. It's strong, it's good, it's playable, but it's not overpowered by any means. And then it also has a lot of frontal guards. You have to use frontal guards to deal damage, to do complete combos, to be useful in the fight, from what I've seen. Still, that's a thing. So, and frontal guards are very risky, as you guys know today. So, kind of my thoughts on that too. Like the whole skirmisher thing, I don't know what it means. We don't know what Vanguard means. Like, we know the military definition, but we don't know what PA means by it as a role. So same goes for skirmisher. What is the role of a skirmisher Awakening Drak in a nodewar or siege? So again, I'm going to reiterate what we said on the other podcast. Like, please, PA, at some point clarify what these rules are going to be. Also make the classes make a little more sense in line with these rules.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Haze, what do you think about the groupings and like the skirmisher awakening drak?
Oh, okay. Um, that's the thing. They tried, in my opinion, to give some Trinity feels like thingy to the actual classes in the game by doing the by separating the things in vanguards, skirmishers, and pulverizers, where you have like vanguards, which in other MMOs should be your usual tank per se, uh, while you have skirmisher, which should be the like the guy who runs in, runs out, goes with the fight along the ball, and all these things. And then you have the assassins. Of course, we miss the other category, which are healers, supports, and whatever. But I mean, this game is not designed, at least for those kind of things. And I think they try to give these fields to the players by separating the classes by this kind of thing, but failed miserably in doing that because you have tanks, vanguards per se, that do not tank, aka Sakdrak,
Mm-hmm.
which should be a vanguard in their minds, should be the one that head-on charges into the other ball and tries to disrupt them, which he fails miserably in doing that.
Yep.
Since you charge head-on on the other ball, you are dead halfway there.
Yes.
You did not even reach the other ball, and you're just dead from the arrows or archers and rangers and so on. Then you have skirmishers. You have like okay-ish thingy. Like I do think the best example for a skirmisher is a Seraph, the new release class. Seraph was a good skirmisher for Node Wars, bastard and everything else. But for Node Wars, it was kind of fine. She was doing a job. She was taking like fights on the side. She had a Z buff, went on to the back line, did her damage, went out, and so on. I think she was just designed for that. The kit was a little bit overloaded for other PvP content, but that's another.
Yeah.
That's not for this topic right now. And then you have assassins, which are lands, awakening lands, ninjas, kunos. And I do think Awakening Drak is more on this side than on the skirmisher side. Since she lost her healing, she can't stay in the fight that long like a skirmisher can. If she has to stay in a prolonged fight, right now she will just explode the moment she tries to go in. So I do think they tried to give this kind of thing, but they failed at it. It's not good. They should probably rework it or give it like you said, a meaning. Like PA, just tell us what's your intention on having those kind of okay, this is the time where language barrier kicks in, and I don't know the right terms.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is you agree that we should have better classifications.
Yeah,
and we should have an explanation for these classifications, which I agree with, and I do think that the the classification or class spec sort of pigeonholing into a role doesn't work with the limited roles in the game. They need to be expanded. Should assassin be a classified role? It absolutely should be. What classes should be in this role? It should be like Awakening Land, Succession, Hazet, Awakening Drak. Classes like this that don't fit into the traditional pulverizer skirmisher role.
Yeah.
I would like to see an expanded sort of class tier for that, and a reason or sort of methodology as to why the class has been put in these roles.
Like right now, you totally miss a classification for classes like Subvalk, Shy. I think the two mages could be under the support wing, since healing, PA and all. You totally miss a whole category of classes which are present in the game but are classified like randomly, because I don't feel Satvak is a vanguard. Sure, she has the tool, but I do feel like a berserker is a vanguard, and a Saknova is a vanguard. If I look at Valka and what she does, I don't think she's a vanguard. She's a more supportive kind of class with healings, protections, buffs, debuffs, and all. Shy is like the same. Please PA delete Shy from the game. But that's me. Shy is like the only class who's right now considered the support. You can't do content without the Shy. I mean, you could do if other people were missing Shies, but if per se, let's say GVGs, if one team has a Shy, the other one doesn't, the guild that does not have a Shy are at a clear disadvantage.
It's GG's.
So
Yeah.
it's like Shy broke the game in a lot of ways, and so they did, in my opinion, with giving classifications to classes that were not needed. Like I know like Azurka is a frontliner, I know Saknova is a frontliner. You just don't. It doesn't help that you give them a classification unless you give them a direction. Okay, you're a vanguard. Fine. What do I do as a vanguard?
Yeah.
Now you deal more damage to assassins. Oh wow.
So helpful. Yeah.
What other can I? What are the other things I can do as a vanguard? Not really that much. You just have your passives that makes you a vanguard.
That's it.
Speaking in nodewar terms, I would absolutely love for my vanguard classes to somehow focus the assassins to deal more damage to them.
Yeah, but they can reach them.
Obviously,
that's another thing. They can't reach them.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's funny that, you know, they're putting these classifications out here and they're talking about like their current focus on balancing is around AOS, but realistically, when you think about consistent content, when AOS is not in season, there's a 3-month gap. Every day we have how many players from every server attending Node Wars, weekends attending Siege. The Siege system also needs to be overhauled. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But largely, like, if you're thinking about it in consistent content, like a Vanguard class being categorized as a Vanguard, having the additional damage to certain classes, like, that's not what you want. You don't want your berserkers, your novas, you don't want them to leave the main raid to go and hunt down Hashashin or something like that. Like, you want them to engage, you want them to be primarily the first ones in to soak damage, to try and land CCs, to get the kills on the enemy ball, right? Like, the damage on assassins is so like absent in today's meta, especially Node Wars, because the current meta is pretty much, if you're a vanguard, you're on 6-hand DR. You are literally playing a tank, like a traditional MMO tank class. You don't need 5% damage to assassins because that's not your role.
Which, by the way, is a player thing. A player is playing a berserker. He knows he has to tank. He has to CC people, and he plays a more tanky build because otherwise he would be utterly useless. He would be too frail to do anything. He would like be squishy as a ninja, as like Alan. So they did the classification thing, and the player had to adjust to it, and that's crazy. That's the most crazy part.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm just reading chat just now, and I saw Malavex just commented as well.
Mhm.
Like, this is another thing. They need to make that page more accessible, because even I have had to go digging for it to remind myself.
Yeah, I
what
search on
classes
Google
what,
every
and it's
time.
not. Yeah, it's
Crazy.
not very accessible, or transparent for people who are looking for that information. It should be outlined on the page. If any CMs or GMs see this, hopefully we can sort of incentivize them to make this information more
Here's the link.
accessible. Thankfully, or hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it doesn't do much, actually, if you think about it. Yeah, 5%, sure. 5% is not nothing. And, like, when I look at Suck Drax, you know, on Guild Yapper, I look at the stats. Our number one kill is Shy. Shy is a Vanguard class. Number 2 class killed by Suck Drax is Sork. Number 3 is Sage. So we have one from each group. It's not like that 5% is doing that much. It's doing something, but like it's the only thing that those groups do right now. But I think that they can take those and make them into a cooler thing for standardizing. Like I'm working on a video right now. As Haze knows, I've been playing some Awakening Mystic on the side as well, in AOS, and like just to try and see the similarities and the differences between the two Vanguard classes, right? Like Suck Drag and Awakening Mystic. They both have resource builder spenders. They have very similar things to each other, but one of them works everywhere, one of them doesn't. And I think from each group, we could have 1 or 2 gold standard classes that then are used to adjust the rest of them. Like, what is Awakening Mystic? Well, the most important quality of Awakening Mystic is 25% SA damage reduction. I think either that needs to be brought down to 20 and then all the Vanguard classes become 20, or all the Vanguard classes are 25. I don't know. The numbers, you know, PA will have to work those out. But like each group should have some sort of gold standard, like, oh, okay, skirmisher, this one does X, Y, and Z very well. Let's make all the other classes kind of be able to do the same things. Not exactly the same way, but make it into a cooler class fantasy thing, more than just the 5% damage. You know, use it as a balancing tool, maybe. So, you know, I talk about this a lot on stream, and I think it's a missed opportunity. I hope they're still working on this and they're not just leaving it like this for the next 10 years, because it is a cool thing to have, where you have better defined roles for classes, not shoehorning them into that role, obviously, but It's like, yeah, you want a tank, use Suck Drag or use Berserker or Mystic. But if you want something that's fast, skirmishing, on the sides, doing this and that, one of these other guys. Kind of guidance for new players as well.
Yeah. Can I just follow on and say,
Yeah.
I know how you were talking about, skirmishers can do X, Y, and Z, and we should ensure that other classes can. We should basically move in a direction where these categorized classes can achieve the same effect as another one in their role. Just going over that and glossing over that. Would it be cool if I just share sort of what Drakania Awakening can do with its current kit to sort of recenter us to the original topic?
Yeah.
Which is obviously Awakening Drak. I know there's a million other things that we can discuss in terms of game state and potential for future discussions as well, which would be really cool. But
Yeah, I'm glad you are actually wrapping it up because we've been going off track for a bit. Yeah. Please go ahead and give us.
That's kind of what happens when you feel good about the game. You're attached to the game. You like the game, and you don't want to see the game go in a direction that you don't like, that you know is bad.
Yep. Yeah, which is understandable. Okay, guys, I'll finish up and I'll just sort of gloss over what Awakening Drak can do. So currently with its kit, it plays for opportunities. You don't play for skirmishes, despite being a skirmisher by classification. Its skirmishing ability 1vx is really difficult because obviously we glossed over earlier that absolute Azure Onslaught no longer has a stiff, which was arguably your best tool in small skirmishes. And also it lost the knockdown crowd control effect on Dragon Blood, the scale, which was also one of your best skills despite being unprotected. A lot of people sort of loved that about the class, that it was, a feast or famine ability. You were punished if you got caught. If you landed it, it reaped big rewards. It's set up for additional extensions, etc., etc. The class is currently one of the most freestyle classes in the game. I know we discussed this a little bit earlier, and it has no set bread and butter combo. It's not one of these classes like, again, I'll reference Striker because Striker has like a very simplified bread and butter combo, which is then extended on by various down smashes or filler and pre-awakening, etc. Drakania's not like that. It doesn't have a go-to set combo. There are sort of priority skills in the kit that should be included. The two sort of important skills in that kit are going to be Hexblood Extinction and Hexblood Sundering Roar. The fill in between is sort of variated between Drak mains. Some people prefer one thing, some people prefer another, and that can be just down to how they want to set up their combo to be. I think that's fine. What I will say as well is that like everything with Drakania is very reactionary and very situational in terms of combo DPS damage. The current playstyle utilizes the dash or blink KD style. You're basically just dashing around trying to capitalize on landing a knockdown, which has obviously been made infinitely easier by finally having a super armor return on Sunder and Roar or Extinction. Traditionally, this playstyle that they've sort of pigeonholed Drakania into, though, with the dash knockdown attempts, the playstyle was viewed as the simple way to play Awakening Drak. It was pretty basic and quote unquote noob friendly. It was sort of like a beginner's guide to sort of how to play Drak in PvP. It's a pretty linear playstyle, but with the way that it has been centered around, with the loss of the aforementioned abilities, it's kind of optimized to play this way. So if you did previously enjoy the dash blink KD playstyle, you're gonna have a good time playing Drak, in my opinion. I feel like in terms of PvP content, it sort of excels in isolation situations, and specifically on isolated targets. It can really punish people 1v1. Previously, it could do the same job with the tools that I mentioned earlier to a much greater effect. However, currently, it's still going to be the best form it can be in a 1v1 situation. When you're in a 1v2, 1v3 situation, it's still doable, but it's not as easy as it was before due to the current playstyle. You're sort of rewarded for hitting people when they're not looking at you. You're looking to dash in, deal your damage, and leave. The damage on the class is right where it needs to be. It's not absurd, but it is very, very strong, and it has that time to just get in, drop its damage, kill someone, and get out. Or alternatively, you can then convert onto another person if they are unaware of your existence. These are situations for like nodewar, AOS, any sort of PvP content. However, this is a lot more macro play style in terms of like positioning and timing, which is again really, really important elements and fundamentals to the class. It's not a class that's going to just run at people head on, as sort of Haze pointed out earlier. Specifically in nodewar, you're not looking to just run into people head on. You're looking to sort of be that flanker to sort of position yourself in a way where you are going to set yourself up for success. And I think that's kind of where the kit is at. Well, and again, I will finish and just reiterate that the class currently, in my opinion, and from the opinion of veteran Drak players, that the class is high B tier, low A tier. If you main the class, have experiences on it, and know the intricacies involved in the class, and have these sort of all of this class knowledge, and you're not trying to figure things out. If you're a newer player to the class or a bottom roller to the class, like, you're not going to see these rewards like a Drakania main would, if that makes sense. And I hope that sort of clears it up for people out there.
Yeah, I think it's a question that you've been getting a lot, and I've been getting a lot as well. Even though I main suck Drak, I played Awakening Drak. People were asking me, "Hey, is it back? Is it great?" I'm like, okay, it's back in terms of it's playable by someone like me who put in a few hundred hours at the BA and did a lot of AOS matches with it. Like, if you practice it, of course you're gonna get good at it, and you can get good results with it. I think in the end you will be able to even like make it to top 100 in AOS or whatever, right? But it's not gonna be like one of those flavor of the month classes, I think. And correct me if I'm wrong. That you just pick it up, and 10 hours in, you start pushing buttons, and you're top fragging in nodewar, or you're carrying 1v3s in AOS. I just don't think the class is anywhere near that, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Like previously in AOS, you 1v3 and was very doable, but again, back then you had Azure Onslaught for a stiff. It was a SA protected stiff. You could then extend that out into a knockdown, and you could sort of play around with that. It was a really clutch 1v3 tool. You had blue tip for the potential knockdown to break people's ankles and sort of play make. The class is not in that role of having the ability to play make anymore, especially with the dash play style like we previously discussed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the dash playstyle is more orientated towards being an assassin when the focus is not on you. However, it can work. There are situations where I have 1v3'd in arena Solar currently. However, it wasn't as easy as previous, and you're really capitalizing on the enemy making grave mistakes or not being focused on what they're doing at all, sort of like absent-minded. That's not sort of possible if the players are good and they're sort of focused on what's happening.
I think another thing we should go on about the new dashes playstyle is another rising issues that comes along with this kind of playstyle, which is your oxygen tank will run out so freaking fast if you keep dashing around without any thoughts. So as an awakening drak, you could try, you are like used to manage your stamina as much as you can, since you were dashing before too. But since your dashes were unprotected, your WE was unprotected, your WF was unprotected, you were like using them in tiny bits away from fights just to get closer. Right now, you're just using them for protection to. In the case of the WRMB, you're trying to get a KD off it. In the case of WF, you're trying to get a KB off it. So, you are having a lot of stamina issue if you keep dashing in and out, if you keep zooming around like you're, I don't know, some kind of ninja that right now has, even the ninja has problems with it. But
yeah, I was just gonna say as well, that is a great point. The pigeonhole playstyle does rely on you using your dashes for everything. It's your engage, your disengage, your reposition, your neutral. Like, there are tools in the kit, and a lot of experienced Drax will utilize the pre-awakening skill set to sort of fill that neutral game. But the dashes are predominantly very, very important. Whether it's your micro dashes like Dragon Walk and Refraction, or your actual dashes like Stormwall, Tectonic, and Fate Beckons. Utilizing these and spacing it out is very difficult, even more now, because you don't have the previous tools. Again, we're circling back to these previous tool loss of Azure Onslaught being the stiff and Blue Tip being the knockdown. You're sort of very reliant on these dashes for everything, which, you know, it's not optimal to sort of linger around. That's why I say, like, in terms of skirmishing, it feels more like an assassin. Like, you're going to engage with at least 2 of those dashes. You're going to try and drop what damage you have, try and get a kill, and then you're going to leave. And after you do that, you have to neutral a little bit, try and recover that stamina. It's not one of these classes that's going to permanently be able to pressure, because you're using these dashes so often for each part of your game, that it just becomes asthmatic, for lack of a better terminology. Like, you really have to be wary of your stamina on this class.
Yeah. And I think it's especially true in AOS, because in AOS you're going to have about like 2,000 to 2,500 stamina. And I have those skills on screen right now. It's, you know, Tectonic Slams 150, right? Fate Beckons is the same. Stormwall is the same. And then you have, in the pre-awakening, you have your wings, which is the beginning of your long flight. If you just do a quick shift space, well, you're going to be using 250. So like in 3 or 4 dashes, you can literally just eat in to like 30-40% of your stamina bar. And you're going to be using some iframes as well, because you're probably dodging grabs or trying to mitigate damage. So yeah, I'm noticing this too. And as a newer Awakening Drak player, I would actually be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on, like, okay, we've talked about the state, but now let's assume somebody like me who really likes the class and wants to stick with it in the long term, wants to play it, right? It's just not going to be flavor of the month, but wants to stick with it. Where would you kind of guide them towards to like focus on in the beginnings and start like what is the neutral game? Very basic, we don't have to get into a full guide, but what to work on first and what to look for and try to optimize
I'll,
for in the short term.
I'll take the
I'll
first
let
round
Haze.
here,
Yeah.
since I'm actually training a lot to get better. So my feeling is it's me being like a new drak. Even though I have like full experience on it since she's been released, I've always been on drak, suck drak before the Awakening been released. Then the moment Awakening has been released, I fell in love with it, and I just roll with it till now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think besides the most crucial like skills you must train, that everyone must train, so positioning, our awareness, all the things you need with every class, not just drak. You probably need to get a feel about what drak tools are. You have to like how can I say, go on each skill, see what the skill does, see what the skill can be linked to, see what other skills can be used to reach probably the skill you were trying to use it. Try to experiment yourself. Do not just go. This might feel like a gatekeeping thing. It is not. Try to learn the class like you would do from zero. Go in the battle arena. Go on the mannequin, and see. Okay, I see Savage Decree. The command is SLMB. What it does? It does 3 hits. Those 3 hits can be linked to, and so on and so on. This gets you like train a feel of what the class can do, gets you to understand what are the tools you then can move on. You can move on the movement, you can move on the resource management, which in this particular case we are talking about the stamina, not like Suckdrag, but which she has to manage Arians too. You have to be like, okay, I'm starting over, I'm learning, I want to learn, I want to get better. That's it. How do you do that? It's up to you, because no one is going to per se learn the way I did, because you're different than me. I can say, oh, I did this to learn Awakening Drak. I did like 10,000 reps of like sit-ups to learn how to C-swap cancel per se. But it could not work for you.
Yeah.
So the BA is your best friend in this case. Your desire to know is gonna be your best friend. Your desire to get better is gonna be your best friend, and some pointers for sure. You can ask like veteran Drax about tips and tricks, what course, what are the right pointers, and so on. So like Bright did to me, I went to Bright and asked him, okay, how do I become the top one drak in the server. He dueled me. He found some like holes in my knowledge and said, "Okay, I think you should focus there. You could do that. It doesn't mean it will work, but it's a starter." And that's what a new drak should do. She should strive for knowledge, for experience, for wanting to learn.
Yeah, I agree with what Haze says, and a quick recap. I agree on all points. I would say the greatest tool to learn in Drak or awaken in Drak is take it, do some PvE rotations on it, get a feel for the class in PvE. If you want to dip your toe into PvP and you want to master the class or sort of expand and become like a adept awakening Drak player, you want to ideally go into BA, you want to take 1v1s with people because that eliminates all outside perspectives, right? There, and it doesn't matter like win or lose, right? Like you're not there to win the fight, you're not there to ego check people. You're there to effectively learn, right? And what I learned through my experience from being self-taught is the more fights I lost, the more I learned, because you learn what you can and can't. You get punished for certain things against certain classes that you don't get punished with other classes, and you sort of build up this sort of checklist or check sheet of like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and it also teaches you about other classes in turn, right? Like you'll figure out other classes have gaps in certain points, and the battle arena sort of community are quite good. They will offer you fights, they will offer you advice. It just makes sure that like you're taking some things with a grain of salt, and people have different opinions on things. In terms of like combinations, freestyling, just A through Z on Drakania, it just comes with experience, time and experience. You just sort of try different things out, and you learn that way. And not everyone learns the same way, obviously. I think that like different people benefit from different things. But I can absolutely say that like in a 1v1 scenario, it is you versus someone else. There's no external factors. There's no ballistas, cannons. There's no, shy buffs. There's nothing involved in that scenario that greatly benefits one person or another. It's just you on the class versus another guy on his class, or girl, whoever. But like at the end of the day, this is the best way to learn, because that is what you're limited to. You don't have to win the fights. You don't have to try and beat the other person. It's about the desire to learn and continuous improvement. Just the ongoing reps that you will get will inevitably make you better on the class, and it's just time. You just have to put your mindset to it and be devoted to it, and you will see the rewards over time for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely love that. I spent so much time in BA, and I made so many friends, by the way, just hanging out on BA, trying to learn Awakening Drak back in the day. Like on the side of Suck Drak, I just wanted to learn it. I met a lot of other Awakening Draks that way. Everyone taught me some different thing, but every Awakening Drak ends up with their own style, I think. Like whenever I fight you, Bright, and then I fought Haze a little bit before you came, you can tell like this is Haze style Awakened Drak, this is Brightflame style Awakened Drak, and then this is my style. Like, it's such a great freestyle class, both Succession and Awakening. But especially Awakening gives you a lot of this personalization of the class that I love. But like on BA, I couldn't agree more. You're gonna make more friends, you're gonna learn quickly. Also, another benefit of BA is you get to learn the other classes you're fighting. You'll be fighting warriors, you'll be fighting hashes, you'll be fighting all the classes in the game, and you'll start learning about their gaps. and their challenges and their difficulties as well. Like, oh, when do I catch a Sork? When is the hash most vulnerable? That kind of thing. So, um, yeah, BA. The only downside of BA is you don't get paid for your time, like AOS or Node Wars. Like, it's just only you spending time there learning, but it's just priceless in the benefits it gives you. So I would like say this to any new player on any class. Really, just spend time in the BA, and pretty universal and really good advice.
If anyone's curious, my DMs _ Dynast on Discord, €2 per fight in BA. I'm trying to
There
make
you
money.
go. €2, dude. Come on, that's too cheap.
Yeah, that's per fight. That's per
Oh,
fight.
per
Every
fight.
death is a reset. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So if you want to do
dude,
10,
okay.
I would have done per minute, but
listen,
yeah.
listen. I'm getting paid
You-
for
you-
my time. I don't know about you.
You
guys.
do
I'm getting paid for
packages
my
like
time.
100 fight packages? Just so-
Yeah. Like a one-on-one coaching like fight session. Yeah, we can work something for sure.
All right. Damn. Okay. That's good. It's good. We got a business going here as well. I take
Do let's get a
20% though.
discount.
I get 20% cut off of it because I
Yeah,
don't know.
you get client referral rate. So
There
like,
you go.
You take a cut. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it works.
Yeah, cool. I mean, we're joking, but actually, somebody earlier asked me about paid coaching. Like, it's a thing that people like to do. They like to pay other players to coach them. So, like, if you guys are serious, I'll refer them to.
Yeah, like I said, my DMs are open for players that are looking for advice or whatever it means, whatever is involved with drak, drak related advice, questions. I'm pretty forthcoming with that. There's some questions that like can't be answered. A lot of people have been sort of messaging me the past few days, particularly on combos and what combos you can do for PvP, what add-ons should you run, and there's never a straightforward answer. And I think I kind of need to outline it here so we can reference people to this video when it goes online.
Yep.
Your add-ons and your combos are your preference. There are skills that are going to be priority in the combos that are better, that have to be there. In terms of raw damage numbers, there are going to want to be skills that you include in that combo. If you're looking for something reliable and protected, you're going to have to sacrifice some of these higher damage skills for that protection, which in my mind, it makes sense. It depends on what you're looking for, what value you're looking to get out of your combo, and your add-ons are a reflection of what your bread and butter combo is. There are Drakanias who will run add-ons similar to me. There are Draks on NA, specifically like Seawin and Haku, who will utilize like Storm Maul, Fate Beckons add-ons currently. I have thought about these add-ons and incorporating them into large-scale practices, but I just don't think that they fit what I'm looking for. So I stick to my traditional add-ons, with an open mind that I could try these out and see how it does in future for me. But everyone has like a personal play style, and it's all about sort of finding out what you do and what skill order and what skills are going to benefit you add-on wise. I hope that just sort of clears it up.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's gonna be very helpful to have this video up for people to, and then they can listen to the parts that's interesting. Hopefully they listen to all of it, because there's a lot of gems in it. And and then they can incorporate the information, like add-ons. This is a freestyle class. Most people don't know that drak, even suck drak, is a freestyle class, right? That comes as a surprise, because everybody's conditioned to think that, okay, you get a catch by doing X, and then, okay, now this is your combo. Like the Striker example you gave. Even though I don't know Striker, I know they're going to do the exact same combo every time. It's just they call those dudes to beat you up, and they, keep jumping around like a monkey, and then you die. Like it's always the same combo, but with Awakening Drak, it's always different. Suck Drak as well. Like even when you're doing PVE, the combo can change depending on the situation. So if you like freestyle classes, Drak is amazing. I love freestyle classes. I don't like combo classes much. It's another reason I like both Draks. So I think that's another thing worth noting.
To be fair, the knowledge about Drak as a class, both Suck and Awakening, is kinda foggy because people to these days still think Suck Drak is a vanguard that should charge at all, like I said before, which is a thing that should never gonna happen because you die halfway there. So if this could be an helpful video towards people getting to know Drak a little bit better, besides from trying to learn the class, this can help too. Helps like clearing the fog around the class, clearing the fog around the bad information that is going around the class, though, since most people still think Drak is like an absolute menace, while right now she's a normal class.
Yeah,
she's a fair class to fight. She has protection right now. She has damage. She does not have not tankiness and no healing. So you can catch her. It's not unfair to fight. I may sound a little bit biased, but that's what I felt while I was playing Mystic 2.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you fight a Drak, you know it's a fair fight.
Yes.
You don't have to deal with bullshit like spiral.
Yeah.
Grab it back, get grabs. Hello,
are we talking about forward guard bypasses here? Can't have that. That's overpowered, by the way, PA. That's overpowered.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's the thing. And I do think there's a lot of fair classes right now in the game. I all in all, they're doing like a decent job adjusting the classes right now, because I do feel what they are touching the right spots, except for probably the ninja, but that's me despising the class. I do think they went too hard on the Awakening Sage, but that's me. Other people don't think so, but they are going like in a good direction. I mean, I want to say that it feels like they are doing a decent. I'm not gonna say a good job, a decent job in balancing right now.
Bright. Dude, do you recognize who's this person? Is this Haze? Did somebody kidnap him?
Yeah.
So positive.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Very positive outlook.
Crazy.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like, I think they're taking steps in the right direction for class balancing for sure. I just want to reiterate that a lot of people will spread sort of false misinformation, and a lot of people sort of think that these Drak changes somehow make it like this S+++ tier class, which couldn't be further from the truth. Realistically, it's in a playable state, and the reason why Drak mains are so excited is that, like, we've been playing like the worst class in the game, for lack of a better terminology. We have been playing the worst class in the game for 2 years. A lot of people think their class is the worst class in the game, and I understand that, but truthfully, like, the bottom 3 classes in the game up until recently were either Awakening Nova, Awakening Maywa, or like Awakening Drak. And there's like other classes too that were just like gratefully never seen like Succession warriors, classes like these. But like the reaction from the community, especially drak mains, being so excited is it's like you're finally being put in a position where you can play your class feeling like you're playing Black Desert Online instead of like how Seawind describes it as playing 4D chests, because previously
Yeah.
you were playing 4D chests to achieve a knockdown on an opponent. You were playing a completely different game.
Yep. I agree.
Let me bring some doom again.
Uh-oh.
They're going into the right direction. Yeah, they buffed the Kunograb.
Yeah, that was weird. That was
I was 100% sure Kuno was getting cut. Like 100% sure. I think a lot of the community felt that way. No hate to the Kuno mains who will watch this video or Kuno enjoyers. The class is very, very fun. I can see the appeal to Kuno, but you have to realize that like the class was overperformed for what it was in terms of it was a small scale demon. The damage nerfs, I don't know how they impact the class. I'm not going to pretend to know the intricacies of the numbers or visualize how it impacts combos. But I can say that the damage on the class was absurd for what it was, and it definitely needs some adjustments.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. We have some weird, weird outliers right now. Like, I really am happy that we're seeing a much bigger diversity of classes in the top 100. Like, we're seeing witches, we're seeing wizards, we're seeing archers, maybe too many archers. Like, archer might be the big offender as well right now.
See, I just want to throw out here, I don't see the big outcry about archer. As an archer enjoyer myself, the damage is predominantly forward guard, the movement is super armor. Yes, it can kite out really well.
Yeah.
But the kiting is like 7 inputs. Like, for the archer to consistently kite, they need to perfectly input 7 inputs every time. Meanwhile, Seraph caught it just by running at it. But there we go. Thank God Seraph got nerfed. That's all I'm saying.
I am one of the guys who cries about Archer, by the way, because he shouldn't do that well in AOS, but still, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy it's doing well. And like I said, all these classes are doing well. We have Awakening DK as a new entry to our strong classes list. Maybe too strong, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of risks while being strong, so it's good.
I do think NA has better Awakening DKs than us. Not gonna lie.
Maybe, yeah. Like,
But Sac DK on the other hand is wow.
No, sorry, I was just gonna say I just don't think we have a lot of Awakening DK players. We have a lot of really good Succession DKs. Like, there's a handful of Awakening DKs that I'm aware of in the game. A couple of them are really good class. I just think they have a very small representation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, AOS is looking better. Now we'll have some Awakening Draks in the top 100. I'm pretty sure, and I'm really happy about that. It's more diversity, but again, when I look at the list, I'm gonna pull it up again. Pull this up again.
We
5 million
to be
times.
fair, Awakening Drak is like 2 weeks behind the other classes.
True.
But he can get up there.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up. Like, we're already getting close, right? Somebody's close to 8.
Absolutely.
But this picture is nice. However, again, it's very simple. The outliers are screaming at us for many seasons now. Okay,
Yeah.
Like, here it is. It's very easy to CPA. And the Mystic, I've played it a lot. Haze, you've played it a lot. I think we are good enough on it to have an opinion at this point. It's still
I can
too
outline which are the strongest thing about Mystic and which are the weakness.
Yeah.
Because she's mobile, she does lack like vertical mobility, but that's fine. Striker has it. But all in all, Mystic was like being put in check by classes that right now
Are getting
are
nerfed.
are getting
Yeah.
exactly, because Kuno was getting is getting like just hard counters. Mystic, same goes for Ninja, Lan, all these classes.
Mhm.
Probably I could say Awakening a Tamer can be a pain in the ass for Mystics,
Yeah.
but those classes, at least Kuno is getting nerfed. I will probably bet my $2 €2 that Lan will get nerfed,
Mhm.
and
Yeah. I
the,
hope
the
so.
nerfs Mystic had were good, because the stamina needs some nerfs, because like before the nerfs she was like full tank every time. The spiral didn't consume stamina, and it gets Mythic to recover it while using it, and that was actually insane. Because Striker had like Striker Spiral uses stamina, Mystic does not. She had lots of mobility. The vacuum was too powerful. The vacuum got nerfed like 6 months ago. I don't really remember. Then it got nerfed again this time by a longer CD, which was impactful, not impactful enough, in my opinion. Grab should be around 17 seconds, and it would feel more balanced than now, because right now it's still frustrating to play against a good Mystic with a vacuum on 15 seconds. And I mean, damage overall should be a little bit lowered, because right now she deals tons of damage for being a vanguard.
Yeah, with 4 Hooms. Yep.
Yeah, with 4 Hooms and full max.
Yeah, I think this circles back to our previous discussion that like the class categories in this game, it's a great concept, but it needs to be expanded on. You can't just pigeonhole certain classes into a certain role because they don't fit being a vanguard or a, you know, like what is the difference between the methodology of a skirmisher or pulverizer? Like what dictates a skirmisher? What classes are actually skirmishers? What is just being pigeonholed in that role? Yeah. Where is the support category? Why is there only one support class in the game regarding Shy when we're consistently pumping out new classes? Why is Drakania being pigeonholed as a skirmisher despite obviously being more of an assassin? Hash, for example, like I mentioned earlier, all these classes do not fit these traditional roles. And granted, BDO is not a traditional MMO with its systems and the way it's sort of taken direction. But I would like to see more clarity, more diversity in the game where these roles are expanded upon and there are different benefits to playing different classes aside from, oh, you do 5% more damage to this class. Great. Like if I take Awakening Drak to nodewar, I'm really glad that I can jump on the main raid of like an enemy guild and uncapped, and I'm gonna do 5% more damage to a berserker that's running like 1000 DP that I'm never going to be able to kill. Like it just makes no sense.
Yeah. I typed it in chat, but another nerf that Mystic and Striker should be the percentage DR. It should be lowered at least to the 20%.
Okay.
Because 25 is really too much.
Take 5%.
They are pretty much unkillable in uncapped content, and in AOS they feel really, really tanky.
Yeah, exactly. Take 5% from each, and then give it to Suck Drak. and then make her 20%. Thank you.
Not gonna lie, that could be a play. I mean,
Honestly,
I would,
oh sorry, on you go, Haze. Sorry for cutting you off.
I will do 5% to suck drak, 5% to awakening drak, so everyone is happy. Here we go.
Yeah,
That's what you
I
deserve.
would say that I would like to see Awakening Drak's super armor's damage reduction buff. Like it's a base 10%
15.
DR. It's too little. Just give it 50. Just put it
Yeah.
online with majority of classes
Kuno,
in the
for
game.
example,
Like,
right?
even Ninja and Kuno have 50%.
Yep.
Just give Awakening Drak 50%. That 5% is going to do wonders for the class. In terms of Succession Drak, like, just buff the SADR on it. Like, stop pushing these healing factors onto the class, thinking that like more healing is going to improve the class. The healing is fine on the class. The healing is never going to offset the tankiness for Vanguard. I know they want to try and make it unique, but it's not going to work.
I agree.
Bump down the healing, bump up the percentage DR. That's it. You should lower the healing like probably by 30% DR now, and put the 20% DR on Saktra.
Yep. We'll see what they do. I hope they, again, work on these groups a little more and make them into something more tangible than just 5% damage against some of these arbitrary classes, but we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a really good chat, guys. Honestly, I really enjoyed this, and I think a lot of people wondering about like what's Awakening Drak looking like now are just gonna get an overload of fresh information, and they should find all the answers they have here. But if you guys have any last minute things you want to add about Awakening Drak, go ahead. Otherwise, we can start beating each other up a little bit.
I'll let Haze speak first, and then I'll have my closing statement.
I can bring some doom in this. Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No.
Hip Q.
No, I think here we are. No, class is fun, engaging. It's, for me, the perfect class to play. It adapts to what I am as a player in general, because we know, or we do play our classes like we are the main characters, of course, and I feel Drak is the main character in my opinion. But class is fun. It has some flaws, it has some good.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right now for me, it's almost at the sweet spot, because we have some clear issues people can abuse. We have some strong options. We just need a little bit of tweaking about our survivability, and class for me is fixed. I will get better on it to deal with the SSS plus classes. But I think they did a good job overall right now buffing it. So it is just like this. I'm just trying not to doom, and I think I'm doing a good job at it right now.
Yeah. I would just like to say my piece, and I would like to just say that like the buffs are a step in the right direction. The class is in a solid spot in terms of playability. Obviously with skill and experience, the class can be low A tier. It can be one of these classes that rewards time. If you're picking the class up again, like I referenced very earlier on in this sort of discussion, that you shouldn't expect to pick this class up and basically kill everyone and overperform. It's not that type of class. It's a class that rewards patience, time, and effort effectively. In terms of the recent buffs, I think they are a step in the right direction, like I said. I would have liked them to incorporate one or two other changes that I put in my feedback. And I don't want to sound spoiled, like I'm very happy with the changes that they did take from my feedback, as well as the additional extra stuff from other sources that they obviously implemented. But I just think in the current meta, the combo still being predominantly forward guard orientated still makes it like playable, but it still requires that extra depth of positioning, timing, etc. If we weren't in this permanent super armor meta, and other classes had these same gaps where like small parts of the kit were super armor in terms of damage and everyone else had frontals, the class would be much more of a playable sort of even playing field. But unfortunately that's not the meta we're in currently. I would have much preferred they did originally go with the plan of making it more skill based in terms of PvP, with what the original vote was for more forward guards, less super armor, more unprotected gaps.
Yeah.
If every class was in that state, PvP would be more skill based, but I also understand why as a company they sort of veered away from that direction, because they want to promote more players getting into PvP, being more noob friendly. If we look at traditional games like League of Legends, from Riot Games, you pick up League of Legends, and if you don't want to play that game, you're gonna play beginner friendly characters like Garen, etc. I feel like that's sort of the direction they're kind of taking. But it is pretty frustrating to have monumental gaps in terms of classes and what protections different classes have on different kits, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would also like to thank everyone who upvoted, commented, gained traction on that feedback to make these buffs possible. Without the visibility from the people who were interacting and spreading the post and pushing the attention, it wouldn't have happened. So honestly, like you guys all played a part. Like I typed it out, but you guys sort of pushed the agenda behind it. I've been in contact with CMs and GMs about Drakania related things prior to the buffs, just sort of handling the feedback, talking about what would be beneficial, etc. And thanks to that, I did get that line of communication, and the feedback was put to Korea. So again, just a huge thank you to everyone that was involved in that process. You guys are the goats, and hopefully, the game sort of develops to a pace that we're no longer left behind, or we lag behind other classes, and we can all just sort of enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, on that note too, really appreciate you putting that forum post together, and also like the work and getting in touch with the GMs and everything. Hey, I did my part by upvoting and commenting on those with 3 different accounts, so I tried my best as a suck main. Now it's you guys' turn. You gotta go upvote the Succession Drakania one on the NAU forum.
You need to link me that, because I still haven't upvoted it. Admittedly, I'll be the bad guy and admit it.
Oh my
just
god.
link it to me in Discord, and I will upvote it, and I'll leave a comment for you, and I will return the favor, so to speak.
Yeah, for real. I mean, and I know both of you guys also play Succession Drakania, and that's also a very cool class that we enjoy and we talk about from time to time. So, I mean, that getting better is also usually benefits Awakening Drakania in this way or that way too. Sometimes like pre-awakening stuff, like the wings change going.
We actually
250.
have a beef on it, mates.
Hmm?
We actually have a beef on it.
We have a beef on it?
Yeah. Because I mean, Awakening Drak is clearly better looking.
Oh, the classic. Okay. Look, dude. Look at this sword, okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I get 1 wing for free.
Just one, though. Where's the other one?
Wanna see the other one?
Yeah, this is our eternal beef that's never gonna end, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say the dragon roar kind of seals the deal for me. I was about to drop down and do it, but hey, it's just a bit fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a
Yeah.
lot of love for Drak too. It is a very fun class. It does need a bit of love. There's a lot of classes in this game that deserve just a little dusting of love
Yeah.
from the developers, and I think that, well, I pray that they listen to the feedback. But again, like, if anybody does watch this video and you're playing a completely different class and you just tuned in for the sake of it, the best way to sort of promote this is to put together a well-mixed feedback. If you're not sure how to sort of navigate the situation, tell the developers like what you think the issues with the class are. Offer them alternatives to the kit, and basically sort of outline why this would be beneficial. Don't just say like it's bad because it's bad, because they don't know why the class is viewed as bad. If you point out these intricacies to them, there's a greater chance of engagement, a greater chance of them actually sort of testing things out and saying, okay, you know what, we can see the value in that, and just be respectful. If you keep a respectful tone, you keep it constructive, and you put this feedback together, there's a greater chance that you will see the rewards for that.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree. And there's this enduring stigma about PA that they don't listen, or they only listen to Korea. Both of these are not true. First of all, we have a Korean drak in my Discord. He shares a lot of information about Korea, and they complain about PA not listening to them as well. So that myth is out the window. But they do listen.
They don't listen to nobody.
They do listen, and it's evidenced by Brightflame's post being kind of mirrored in some ways, but also some of the feedback we sent, like the wings change, the stamina getting reduced from 400 to 250. It was breaking both Awakening and Succession Drak's lungs, basically. Like, as soon as you use this dash, it was using 400, now it's using 250. It's still too high in my opinion, but it's way better. You get a free iframe for every use of it. And this benefits both specs, both Succession and Awakening, both of which have asthma. So they listen to the feedback. They try to do what they can do, and then get people involved. Get your friends to upvote it. Get your friends to comment on it. And like Brightflame said, tell them what is wrong. Like calling a class dog shit, or calling a class, oh, that class is like, Kuno's so OP, nerf it. Like, yeah, but what should be nerfed? Right? What is the thing that's getting you every time that you want it nerfed? Right?
I think that's pretty much exactly what it is, because if PA constantly and consistently hear this feedback that a class is not balanced, it's overperforming, and you're just like, nerf this class, oh my god, nerf Kuno. Yeah. Tell them why you think Kuno is overperforming. Exactly. And don't come at the subject as like, well, I've died to it, it's way too strong. What's strong about it? Do you feel like the damage is too much? Do you feel like it's just the stamina on it is too much? Like, these constructive outlines greatly help them identify what areas are overperforming on what class. Yeah. And I think it's very important to be specific in that regard. I don't think just saying a class is bad because it's bad, or a class is good too good because it's overpowered. It's really highlighting what is wrong, or helps them identify what areas to nerf, because you'll end up with sort of what Sage kind of got. Like, again, I'm not a Sage enjoyer, I have no stakes in the game, but I don't think the stamina was the issue on Sage. The damage was the issue on Sage, with the amount of protections it has. If you kept the stamina the same way and just reduced the damage numbers and changed one or two skills to make them more accessible to being affected by crowd control effects, that would have been enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes they're gonna overshoot the mark with buffs and nerfs. Like, whenever they buff Awakening Lawn, for example, I'm scratching my head. Who's giving the feedback that that class is bad? You know, it kept getting buffed. It shouldn't have been buffed. Now it's in danger of being over nerfed because everybody's complaining about it. And it's super strong. The numbers show it's strong as well. It's shown it for multiple seasons of AOS. Um, and I just hope that they don't destroy it. But it needs some toning down. And, like, EA needs to hear from us why it needs to be toned down. What about it needs to be toned down? So I think that's a good closing note, and yeah, I appreciate your closing thoughts as well, guys. This it's super enlightening. I think we can kind of wrap it up. I'll cut the YouTube video at this point and put it on YouTube, um, and then from this point on, we can do whatever like, you guys want to do,
Yeah,
fights or
I
whatever.
think this was I think this was really good to get out. I know we kind of went off tangent a couple of times.
Yeah.
The original purpose was to discuss Awakening Drak. I know we covered all that, but there's obviously we're quite passionate in regards to playing Black Desert, and I think a lot of these situations kind of make us scratch our heads. So I'm glad that we did touch on other stuff, but we've sort of opened the door to future potential discussions and you know maybe a scheduled thing that we can sort of talk about and do some engagement on and just make people aware of in the future.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
On my side,
mhm.
I have to thank you for having me here, since I'm not like a well-recognized drak player. I'm a drak main, of course, but not like experienced or knowledgeable like Bright, Seawin, or to name a few of the sack drak goods mates, Dominic and others. But and I appreciate you taking my feedback for what it is, the feedback of a long-time drak player who has been through all the things Bright has and other drak main has, and of my personal point of view on the matter. So first of all, thank you, mates, for having me here.
Yeah, that was great actually. I never got to talk to you in person, so that was great already. And then yeah, we were just fighting. I thought it would be great to hear your thoughts too. And I wish we could talk to other Waken Drags over time and Suck Drags. And I agree with what Brightflame just said. Like maybe this could become a platform. We come together. We can talk about Suck Drag next time, for example. And then if there are more changes to Awaken Drak, we can revisit those. Or we can talk about, like, at the end of AOS season, talk about, hey, how did it go for both specs? And kind of have, like, this Drak summit from time to time where we just chat and then become a platform. Because, again, our aim here is mainly to educate people and, like, just give them the latest information, but also we have another channel for reaching Pearl Abyss, right? So we can send this video to the GMs and CMs as well, and maybe they can watch it, get some extra ideas from it, or maybe they forward it to somebody who can influence decisions. So it's just another channel where we can kind of concentrate our efforts to making Drak better. So I would love to chat with you guys and whomever is interested in just yapping about Drak, about the game in general. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you very much, Mazes, for having me on. Before I leave, I will say, guys, if you guys are interested in picking up Drak, or you're a beginner Drak looking for some insight, please join the class Discord. I have a guide in there for all things PvE. It will give you what you need to know, followed with explanations. And I'm also in there, and there are a lot of seasoned Drakanias in there that will point you in the right direction. You can sort of bounce ideas off or ask questions, and we will try to help you to the best of our ability. We are a pretty friendly group, and yeah, just thank you very much for having me on, effectively, and let me just give my insight. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And hey, there's another Discord you guys can join if you want to learn Just saying. That's my Discord.
Sorry, shout out Maze's Discord. I'm also in there. I will post my guide in there too. If you want to keep up with Maze's and his content, please join his Discord, and I will answer any questions Awakening Drak related in there as well, and I will follow up on guides.
And you can actually join the fight between me and Mazes to which class is cooler between Drak and Awakening Drak. And of course, the winner is Awakening Drak.
What if plot twist Brightflame's on my side?
I don't really think he's on your side. Not gonna lie.
You never know.
I'm Switzerland in this situation, guys.
There you go. That works for me. Hey, there's not enough suck Draks. There's not enough suck Draks on my side to fight this war, unfortunately. But hey, again, yeah, my Discord.
I can be your suck Drak anytime.
Hmm?
I can be your suck Drak anytime.
Yeah. No. Drak is Drak, guys. I always say it on stream. If you're playing Awakening Drak or Succession Drak, it doesn't matter. You're playing the best damn class in the game, period.